Hello and welcome back to Pitch Perfect Live. We are live here from Zurich, Switzerland. I'm Ayisha Gulati and Jamie Spangher is with us, and we are joined by a wonderful special guest, Kit Shepard from the Times. Thanks for joining us, Kit. Well, guys, what were we all so worried about, eh? We did it. We did it. We beat the Netherlands pretty emphatically, 4-0. What a performance from the Lionesses. I told you so. I said yesterday, I believed. I also told you my favourite player was Georgia Stanway. So, just saying, if you want any more predictions, make sure you watch Pitch Perfect. Of course, we're going to dive into all things Lionesses today with our wonderful couch. Also going to look at that Wales-France game and preview today, which is the final match day for Group A, which is very exciting. We will be doing all our regular segments. As always, get involved in the daily quiz. The QR code is in the top left-hand side of your screen. The link is also in the description on podcasts or on YouTube. We've got a poll going. It's how far can England go? Group stages, quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals. Well, we did this poll a few days ago and you guys said group stages. That was what won the poll. So I want to know if that's changed after last night's result. I'm sure it has. But yeah, we want to hear from you. Get your comments in. Get involved in the conversation. As always, we want to know your thoughts. Okay, guys, well, we'll dive straight in. It was a must-win clash, and it's safe to say we did it. Kit, what did England do so well this time that we didn't do against France?
Well, they've talked a lot about the proper England performance, which was a good starting point. I think by that, at least the players mean being a bit more aggressive, winning more of the duels that we didn't see against France. But then tactically, Sarina Wiegman made 2 or 3 switches or significant switches, and they all worked a treat. You had Lauren James moving forward to right wing. She was obviously brilliant, scoring twice. Her moving forward opened up the spot for Ella Toone to come into the side. She also scored. And then at the back, we had Alex Greenwood and Jess Carter switching around on the left. And England kept a clean sheet and Viviana Miedema was anonymous. So all those switches worked perfectly.
You asked Sarina about that in the press conference, Kit, and she was very pleased with herself. You said you must be pleased with yourself.
I did say that, and she was very magnanimous, saying it's a team effort and crediting her technical team. Well, I wouldn't expect anything else, but yeah, Sarina has to put her neck on the line when she makes those changes, and again, she got them right big time last night.
Yeah, well, talking of Sarina Wiegman, we did hear from her in the post-match press conference, and we have a clip for you from that press conference now.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the performance. I think we bounced back really well from France. Of course, we were not really happy with that performance. We reviewed, we had conversations, and how the team responded today was really good. And I think we played a lot better. Yeah, we had some conversations. Of course, we do it together with technical staff. So a couple of things came back a lot on the pitch, off the pitch. And I think today our decision making on the ball was good. We created a lot of chances, and also the way the Netherlands played, we could exploit spaces they left behind because they also want to press high, but they couldn't get their press on us, also because of our decision making, I think. But also our press high on the pitch was by moments really good.
Yes, England did so much right, but the Netherlands did quite a lot wrong as well. Sarina Wiegman touching on it there. What went wrong for the Netherlands? They beat Wales 3-0 last week.
It feels like the same situation we said about England. What went right for the Netherlands? And it all started in the dugout. I thought that Andreas Jonker got it all wrong, and Sarina Wiegman touches on it there. They tried to play like France did, and they don't have the same players that France did. They don't have the pace, they don't have the physicality, and they're trying to kind of give England too much respect in the midfield group. And if any team in the world has learned anything about the Lionesses in the last 12 months, it's that if you overload the midfield and put some breathing room, don't give Kira Walsh any breathing room, the Lionesses collapse. And we saw that the Netherlands gave them too much space. They're trying to play balls in and behind. They don't have the players for that. So Kit mentioned Viviana Miedema was anonymous, and she was, because they didn't play the ball into her at all. They tried to get her to play the fast-paced game, and Sarina Wiegman said, I'll put Alex Greenwood out on the left wing and completely make Chastity Grant anonymous. So I don't know what Andreas Jonker was thinking. They completely played the game into England's hands and didn't know how to play their own football. The positioning was awful. I think penning Jill Roord on the wing was just going to give Lucy Bronze all the defensive criteria that she needed to check off. So yeah, it was a really, really poor performance, not just from the players, but from the manager.
Yeah, we talk about performance, but I think there's also mentality here as well, right? The word bouncing back, and And yeah, just that side of things from England. Like, what did they do so well there from a mentality perspective?
I think they handled the pressure, which feels quite simple, but again, it's worth stressing, like, their tournament was on the line last night. If they'd lost, they would have been out. We saw France beat Wales as expected, and that would have been curtains for England. So I think they just stayed as relaxed as they could, considering it was such a high stakes game. And we asked Lucy Bronze about that afterwards in the mix zone. She said the mood was just very relaxed in the afternoon. I think she said her and Michelle Agiman, I believe, were just doing a jigsaw. There was obviously there's another mention of Monopoly deal, which I don't know what that is. I was not.
Oh, I've got it here actually.
Okay,
We'll play
there
after.
you can educate me. I obviously know what Monopoly is, but I don't know what Monopoly deal is. But there are people playing that as well. So yeah, they seem really relaxed, considering if they'd lost, just imagine what we'd be saying today. It'd be recriminations all over. So it's to their credit that they kept such a level head in such testing circumstances.
No, for sure. You mentioned they're being relaxed, but actually Leah Williamson spoke after in the mix zone. I'll show you a clip of her in a moment, but she was saying that actually it's pretty much one of the most high pressure games they've played. And I thought, you've played in World Cup finals, you played in Euros finals, but this was like almost more. And it's because, I guess, like you say, that recrimination, that press, the pressure, like all of that, it's a lot.
Yeah, and especially after the way they played against France.
Yeah.
And to be fair to them, they kind of came out and said we were rubbish. They didn't say that verbatim, but that's kind of what they were implying. And so there was so much pressure to improve and improve quickly. They haven't really faced that at a major tournament before, certainly under Serena Wiegmann. So again, it's just credit to them that when the stakes were so high, they passed with such flying colours, and that can only help them going forward, because it's not going to be the last must-win game they're going to play now.
It's true. They're all, well, maybe not next week. Well, next week actually is pretty much must-win as well. So they're all must-win now from here on in. Well, talking of Leah Williamson, we heard from the Lionesses captain straight after the game, and here is what she said in the mix zone.
I don't think it was about proving anybody else wrong. I think we lost to a top team, which is not what we wanted. We wanted to win. We knew we were capable of more. We came out today, we were so together, so supportive of each other, and the results that you just saw is what we are capable of. So we've had a bad day at the office, a good day at the office, but none of us wanted to go home. Well, we've never been in this situation, like even playing such a hard first game. Everything's been different, I suppose, and I don't think it's a test as a captain. It's just more of a test of us as humans, and say today that was probably one of the highest pressure games we've played, and our place in the tournament was on the line, and we played like that, which makes me really proud, and I think that's what you get when you come together.
Thanks, Leah. Congratulations.
Yeah. As she said, we didn't want to go home. That's just what it comes down to. They didn't want to come home, and they made it matter. But they need to make it matter, like we said, in every single performance now.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think, look, we have a habit as members of English football that we tend to overanalyze these defeats, and as you would, because we've touched on it so many times, the nature of that France defeat was shocking. It wasn't what we expected from the Lionesses, but it's all about mentality. And Leah touches on the fact that they didn't want to go home, and that's what a major tournament's about, because they can't lose a game from now on. If they lose a game, they're out. So yeah, basically for England going forward now, it's about grouping together in that mentality. And we've seen it at major tournaments before, right? I'm not trying to play the oracle, but Spain lost to Japan at the World Cup. Obviously, we've heard from Georgia Stanway during the week who said, Lucy Bronze said, hey, remember when we lost? So it's always there for England. The pressure's always going to be there. That's English football, but they want the pressure now. They're inviting it. So yeah, from here on forward, it's as Leah said, they don't want to go home. And I don't think they will anytime soon.
Well, I want to move on to talk about a few individuals. Lauren James is the one that comes to mind. But before we talk about Lauren James, I want to show you what her teammate and player of the match, Alessia Russo, had to say about her in the post-match press conference.
I mean, our tactics change depending on who we're playing. So there was lots of different tactical changes. But also, I think it was after the France game, we looked at ourselves a lot as individuals and how we can all be better, and obviously within the team. So I think that going into this game, we wanted to start with that, setting our own standards high on and off the ball, and we definitely did that. And I think when that's our standard as a team, then the sky's the limit. So I think when we're at our best is when we stick together, we're good on the ball, we create chances, and we're dominant at the back, and I think we had all of that today. Yeah, I mean, we see her do that in training all the time. When you give her the ball in those kinds of areas, you know, she can hit it off both feet as well. So, yeah, I want to find LJ in those areas as much as I can. I think we all do. So, yeah, as soon as she hit it, I think we all knew it was going in. She's a special player and a great talent.
Yeah, just the day before, Alessia Russo was saying we need to draw on the magic of the players, and there she is talking about magic, Lauren James. Kit, what impressed you so much about LJ? There's been so much talk about her ahead of the tournament. Will she, won't she start?
I think nothing new, to be honest. Just we know she's this just phenomenally naturally gifted player, brilliant athlete that can really do it all on the attacking side of the game. And she showed that last night, especially with the first goal, kind of running through onto that cut back from Russo, cutting inside onto her weaker left foot and putting it in the top corner. We've kind of seen that before. And it was just a question of really after the France game, was she fit enough to do that? And perhaps not playing in that slightly more taxing number 10 role that she did against France kind of got the best out of her. She could just focus on what she's best at, which is getting forward, having the ball at her feet. And the Netherlands had no answer for her, really.
Oh, it was so chill, that celebration as well. Just like, yeah, okay. It's like,
So much
come
fun.
on, dude. Like, this is massive. But no, I love that. She's just like absolutely cool as a cucumber. And yeah, slotting home that her second goal as well. Yeah, really, really delighted for her. But yeah, Lucy Bronze mentioned in post-match that it's important we don't put too much pressure on her as well, because I think it can be easy to say like, oh, you know, we can't win without her or anything like that. And she was saying, look, she's still young. Like, we don't want to put that much pressure on her. We know how good she is, but just let her like be good. Like, sort of let her be.
She's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Like, we forget how young and new to the footballing world Lauren James is because of how good she is and how much she's performed on the global stage already. But Lauren James is just a player that you cannot take your eyes off. And it's been a difficult time for her over the last few months coming back from a long-term injury. But not every player can come back from so many months on the sidelines and play like that in front of a big crowd at a major tournament and a must-win game. So Lauren James brings something to this England squad that no one else has, because she can play against all teams. I think when you look at a team like the Dutch, they're very different from the French because they're not playing the ball in behind. They're not quick, not as quick, not as physical. So you need someone to break them down using the ball at her feet. And I don't think any other player in the tournament would have scored that goal on her weak foot. She's taken a touch, and we were kind of saying to each other, she won't find the space. No one's going to find the space. So like Alessia Russo said on Matchday -1, it's about finding magic. And Lauren James brings magic to this England side. There's a lot of fighters, but she's a peck above.
Yeah, she really is. Well, Russo there as well. She won player of the match, 3 assists. She was electric. She didn't get a goal. What does she bring to the team aside from her goal scoring ability? I guess she showed a bit of that yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's probably her best asset is I think she's kind of an 8 out of 10 finisher and a 10 out of 10 kind of a link-up player. That means you're a 9 out of 10 striker, maybe on average, which is very good. She never stops running. She's got great vision to pick a pass. She makes intelligent runs as well as just a lot of runs. And we saw that all yesterday. And I think she's got a type of mentality, like we often say with strikers, that they need to be selfish and focus on scoring, but I don't think that really makes sense. Just generally in football, like you want to get your team in the best position to score, and Russo is excellent at that. She got 3 assists yesterday, as you say, all slightly different, and she offers so much to this England team beyond just the goals.
Definitely. Oh, she just really cares as well. Like, you can just tell when she missed that chance early on, we were like, oh, should have done better there. And you could see in her face, she knew that immediately. And that almost made her go up a level, because she's like, I don't want to let my team down like that. So yeah, that was really great to see. Another player who we heard from last night in the mix zone, Lucy Bronze. Now, she was mentioned in the week by a lot of her teammates as being the person to bring the group together, draw on her past experiences of that 2015 World Cup. And I caught up with her in the mix zone last night and I asked her about just that.
You've been mentioned quite a few times by your teammates this week around corralling the group together and telling them about your previous experiences about not winning that first game. How much did you draw on those previous experiences tonight?
Yeah, a lot. I think it was just about not being too negative. You know, we nearly took a point from the France game and we didn't really perform that well, and France played really well. I think, you know, the noise on the outside was maybe a little bit more negative than what it was inside. It was just about sticking together. I think once we kind of pulled ourselves in, you saw that today from the very first minute. It was just a wave of English pressure from the very off go. And I think that's what made the difference today.
And your teammate for club and country, Hannah Hampton, there's been so much commotion around the goalkeeper situation. She showed what she's made of with that first goal, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what Hannah brings to this team is a distribution. And we knew that we could really kind of attack the Netherlands, especially in behind with them long balls, and we did that from the off.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lucy Bronze there, one of the experienced players. She knows what it takes to win things. She's been there before. She's seen it all. How important is that experience? We've spoken about, the excitement and magic of those younger players, but the experience as well.
So important. That has been the talk of the town in the lead up to this tournament. Did England have enough leaders? Against France, it didn't feel like they had enough leaders. Obviously, in the absence of Mary Earps, you've got Fran Kirby, and Millie Bright's probably the biggest one, right? She captained England at the World Cup. There's an absence of leader there, but Lucy Bronze has been there and done it more than anyone I've just named. Like, she has been in this England squad for so many years. She's been a front starter, and she raises the levels. And I think the thing about Lucy Bronze is she can own up to the fact that she plays a bad game, but not shy away from being the leader. Because I think too often in football, we see a player, when they play bad, they don't want to have the input. They don't want to be the one to kind of lead the team. And Lucy Bronze pulled the team together this week and said, we need to be better. We know that we can draw from past experiences. So she's a player that England need to be in top form. And I think it's so important as well. There's country football. There's club football, right? And we're talking about bringing up these young players. She looks after Lauren James at Chelsea. She puts her arm around her. She's been known to be Lauren James's probably closest teammate before they played together. So it's so important as well. Not only is she a leader for the squad, but she's bringing up these younger players. Hannah Hampton, I'm sure we'll touch on her, players like this. So Lucy Bronze is someone that I think is a bit of an idol in that group. She carries the group when she performs well, and when she has a bad game, she's still ready to lead from the front.
Yeah, so 2 goals for LJ, 1 goal for Stanway, 1 goal for Toon. So good to see Stanway and Toon scoring as well. Touched on her a little bit, but yeah, Ella Toon was amazing, right?
Yeah, and just gave the midfield a little bit more balance, I think. And I've talked about James being in a 10 against France, how that didn't really work. But Toon's a more natural midfielder. She was making the runs in behind, which we even mentioned in her press conference. But she was also probably doing a little bit more of the defensive work, which James can do, but maybe didn't do as kind of regularly against France. And then she got forward and got her goal as well. So it feels like England found a better balance, and that's probably going to be kind of their formula, you'd say, for the rest of the tournament. I mean, personnel might change a little bit, but I think you'd be surprised now if there were significant changes from that 11 going forward.
Georgia Stanway's goal had echoes of that Spain goal from 2022 as well. I was like, is she going to shoot? Yeah, go on. And there you go. And
Georgia Stanway in a major tournament when England need a goal, she's a different formula. Just put her on and let her have a ping at it.
Her celebration as well, like the heart, the passion. That's just what you want to see. Like, be a fan.
She's been speaking this whole week about being the proper England, and the proper England is wearing the 3 lions on your heart. And Georgia Stanway is the player that embodies that the most. It was so brilliant to just see her. So let's take this game by the scruff of the neck, and she sure did.
Yeah. And of course, we've spoken about the goal scorers, but defensively as well, we didn't concede. Our defense was maybe heavily criticised after the France game. You mentioned the swap with Jess Carter and Alex Greenwood in that left back position. What do you think we did better in defensively?
I think they just contained better. I do think it was a much better matchup against the Netherlands than it was against France. They just don't have that same kind of level of dynamic fast attacks which France just have in Rennes. So I think that helped, but I think there were less mistakes. Carter at centre back maybe gave him a bit more mobility in the middle to stop the kind of balls over the top, which again Serena referenced in her press conference. And Greenwood playing on the left as the only left footer in that defence gave him kind of an outlet on that flank, and she put in some really dangerous crosses in the game as well. I think for Russo's goal, it was disallowed. That was from a Greenwood cross. So the change in the back 4 helped obviously defensively, but it also helped England in possession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have we got any comments coming through, Jamie?
We've got a few. We've got someone saying that big up. I mean, yeah, we will big up.
Thank you.
We've got someone saying the champs are back, baby.
Oh, love that comment. Yeah, more of that.
Amazing result for the Lionesses. The never give up attitude. That's exactly right.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Do keep your comments coming in. We want to hear from you. Do keep voting in the poll. So much to talk about with England. A great performance. So let us know your thoughts. Someone else we heard from in the mix zone was Beth Mead, and she spoke about how England bounced back
that much improved in performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think firstly I'm very, very proud of the team. I think you get a lot of scrutiny from the first game. Obviously us as players are very frustrated from how that first game went, and it wasn't a true reflection of us as a team. I think we had a lot of hard conversations throughout the week and the build up to this game, and that's not always easy for a team and individuals to be able to do, but we really did that. We got together, we got behind each other, we were motivated, and we believed that we could turn it around, and I think it was credit to us that we did that, showed that character and put in the display that we did today.
And talk to me about those hard conversations, because it felt like this was a completely New England side today in attack, defence and in the midfield. What were the words from Serena?
I mean, it wasn't even as from Serena, it was more player-led, and we have high expectations of each other. Sometimes emotionally it doesn't always come out in the right ways, but I think we very much figured out a way that we can get best out of each individual within this team, and I think you've seen that today.
Yeah, an all-round team performance. Leah mentioned that too. It was really coming together. Beth said it there. She, of course, didn't start and came on, and I think it's nice to hear her speak there because it just shows the sort of whole team togetherness.
Beth Mead's one of the first players, I think, for club and country to front the media and tell her side of the story. And
yeah, she
it's
does
quite
always
admirable.
stop in the mix zone,
She's always the one to tell the story of the Lionesses or whether it's Arsenal or for national team. So for Beth Mead to say that, I know my role. Everyone knows their role in this squad. Chloe Kelly was another player that had a chat to some written media as well. So it seems as if it needs to be a cohesive unit, because that was the biggest struggle against France, right? It was 11 different players on the same pitch, not playing the same style of football, whereas last night it was a clear message. Every player knew their role. And again, like highlighting the fact that Kit said Lauren James plays on the wing, Ella Toone drops into midfield. Everyone has their role. It's getting the best out of every player. And then Beth Mead has less defensive responsibility as well. Chloe Kelly has less defensive responsibility. So they can come on, really make an impact. So yeah, it's about all players in the squad. And I think Serena's gone on about game changers, and that was exactly that.
Yes, well, there was a lot of talk about the Beth Mead versus Viv Miedemar matchup. Of course, partners off the pitch, definitely not on the pitch yesterday. Beth, I think, spoke in a different interview saying, I'll be there for her. She was there for me after our difficult day the other day, which I think is nice, after sort of the cooling off period is done. But we did actually catch up with Viv in the mix zone yesterday after the defeat. And here's what she had to say.
Viv, how are you feeling after what I presume has been a difficult night?
Frustrated, I think, mostly. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew that obviously England had to come out because they had to beat us, but we just lacked everything: intensity, quality on the ball. So yeah, it was tough.
Can you explain why?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, you go into the game with a lot of confidence, hoping that obviously we can get something today, and yeah, it just didn't work from minute one.
How difficult would it be to bounce back ahead of a huge game against France then?
I mean, difficult, obviously, but I think we're all allowed to be extremely grumpy tonight. We've got a family moment tomorrow, I think, and from there on we need to move on. And if we don't believe that we can get a result on Sunday, then we might as well go home tonight. So I'm pretty sure we'll all wake up tomorrow morning and we're ready to go on Sunday.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Clearly very disappointed there, and understandably so. How did the Netherlands team bounce back from this? Can they go on and beat France?
I think they just need a mental reset, maybe a bit like England had against after losing to France. They were off it pretty much in every facet last evening. I was going to say last night, whatever. And they've got to find a way to do what England didn't, and that stop France's live wire attackers. Their defense looked really shaky last night. Obviously, like Janssen, we've seen her been maybe a bit hit and miss for Man United. Berman's obviously a very young player, so I do think they'll be up against it, to be honest, against France. But they do have players like Miedemar who can give you a moment of magic just like that. And that's, I would say, what they'll need to rely on against France. I have France as quite clear favourites for that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't actually touched on one of the other England players just to round things off. And I want to give this person a shout out because I called her out at the beginning of the tournament, Hannah Hampton, because I think there was so much commotion around the goalkeeper situation before the Euros, and Serena had clearly made it clear that Hannah Hampton's her number one, and this is why. And I think yesterday she was heavily involved in that first goal. That's what she's in the team for. Lucy Bronze touched on it. Her ball distribution's amazing. She used to be that outfield player. Just give us a bit of a take on what you made of Hannah Hampton yesterday.
She was incredible. She had a very early wobble where the ball kind of runs past her, and I thought, oh gosh, this might set the tone for another poor evening. But it goes to show at such a young age, her mentality as a goalkeeper is incredible. And I don't think I've ever seen, at least in a major tournament, a goalkeeper play a pass as good as that.
Yeah.
That was incredible. She hits it low, daggers it, and I think this is going straight into the feet of Jill Roord at the top of the line, and this is going to be a disastrous moment for England. Splits the entire Dutch team, and it falls into Alessia Russo, and it's not just a kick and hope. She picks out Alessia Russo and finds her and gives it to her on a silver platter. And we've touched on Hannah Hampton a lot on this show, speaking about what she brings to England that maybe past goalkeepers haven't, and it's her ability to play with her feet, it's her ability to hit the low pass and open up the play that way. But it's just an exceptional goal. It's an exceptional team goal, but it starts with Hannah Hampton, and to do that on the biggest stage at her age is just absolutely admirable.
Yeah, has Hampton impressed you as well, Kurt?
Yeah, I thought she was a little bit shaky in the first game. She had a couple of handling errors, but as Jamie says, last night shows why she's in the team. She's an unbelievable footballer for a goalkeeper. She obviously played as an outfielder at the very beginning of her academy career. She sometimes trains with the outfielders at Chelsea. So she's fully capable of playing those passes. And the kind of just trajectory of that pass as well was just sensational. Put Russo straight through, and then, as we said, LJ did the rest.
Yeah. Well, you always see her in the training as well, doing all the tricks to keep you up. Because you normally see the outfield players doing that, and she's always first, trying to outdo the others. I love that. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Show them what you're made of, Hannah. You could be actually playing outfield as well, right? But yeah, we've touched on it a bit. But Kit, I know you're going to give us a run through of exactly what England need to do to make it through to the next stages, because we saw France beat Wales 4-1 yesterday. An amazing moment for Wales and Jess Fishlock to get that goal. So shout out to them. But yeah, let us know what needs to happen now.
Well, it's very easy, thankfully.
Yeah.
They just need to win, because they won by more than one goal last night, which means if they beat Wales, they'll be through. Because if they win and France win, France will be on 9, England will be on 6, Netherlands will be on 3, so England will finish second. If Netherlands beat France and England beat Wales, all 3 teams would be on 6 points. But the only way England could go out is if both France and Netherlands had better goal difference in the games only involving 2 of those 3 teams. And that can't happen, basically, because England beat the Netherlands so heavily. So that's the long-winded way of saying if England beat Wales, they'll definitely go through. Whether they finish first or second, we don't know, but they'll definitely be in the top 2.
Yeah, so a little mini goal difference table with just those 3 top teams. So essentially the goal difference in the Wales game doesn't matter, which is great news for England fans. So just a win, but it's going to be a tasty tie. Wales are not going to want England to just get do that easily. Lucy Bronze mentioned in her Mix Zone interview that the Prince of Wales went and saw them yesterday, and she said he knows all about that rivalry. And I was like, yeah, being the Prince of Wales, I'm sure he does. But that is that's tasty, right?
It's tasty. It's the Battle of Britain. I think if Wales are coming into this game, they're basically saying if we're going to come into this group, they had no expectation that they were going to exit the group of death in Group D, but their expectation is we have an opportunity to dislodge England from this tournament, and that will be their sole motivation heading into this tournament. So I think we can expect a Welsh side, and it's not in Welsh nature to kind of give up now that they're out of the tournament. I think they'll come to St. Gallen and they'll really, really put on a show. I don't think that they'll do it by any means, but I think that they've got what it takes to at least sit back and nullify England for a bit. However, the Lionesses, if they play like they did against the Dutch, then I think they can probably book their spot in the quarterfinals.
Wow. Okay, so to round off Group D, who's gonna qualify?
England and France.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
In order? Which order?
I think that France will beat the Netherlands, so I'll go France first, England second, which is probably better because they won't meet Spain in the semis, shall they get there?
Yeah, agree.
Same.
France top.
Okay, I agree with you on the top 2, but I'm going to be come on England, let's top the group. But yeah, I honestly I don't see Netherlands beating France based on what we saw yesterday. But you never know. You never know. Well, I think let's do our tops therapy segment. Although no therapy needed today. This is a very exciting celebration. We are going to be doing opening tops cards while we're feeling very jubilant.
Yeah,
this is Kit, as our guest of honor, why don't you go first with
This is big pressure. Okay.
Read them out very dramatically, please.
Okay. God, this is exciting.
Just an update on the poll before you open that. 50% of voters think England can go all the way to the final. That's a bit of change of heart from our from our
Let's go.
audience.
Is there anyone in particular we're looking for? Yeah. Any
We still need quite a lot.
Yeah, so just
I
give us
always get very
something good.
excited when we get England players.
Charlie Escort of Wales.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
show, you can't really see it, can you?
Yeah, hold her
A
up.
little
Hold
bit,
her
a
up.
little bit.
Charlie Escort of Wales.
Nice.
Maya Bay Ostergaard of Denmark. Sorry for
Okay.
that
Good job
perfect
there.
pronunciation.
I think that was actually
Yeah,
quite
that's
good.
Lisa Nilsson
Oh, yeah.
of Norway.
Nice.
Justina Blom of Belgium.
Nice, I think we need that.
Oh, and there you go. There's your England player,
Oh,
Jess Carter.
Come on.
fresh off last night, and then is that the Iceland badge?
Iceland badge. Yeah, nice.
Fantastic.
I think that was helpful.
Brilliant.
I feel that was a good pack.
We've not got Jess Carter. We've
No.
not got the Iceland, but there's a few there we need. Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
Kit.
Kit.
All right, you're up.
Right, you've got to hold this for me. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got Geraldine Reutler.
Okay.
Player
Up
of the
the
match
Swiss.
for Switzerland, and of course Switzerland playing today. So that's an exciting one. Catarina Amado from Portugal.
Nice.
We've got Diani from France.
Okay.
We've got Eva Navarro of Spain. We've got Fridolina Rolfo, who
Nice.
is the sort of special one to watch of Sweden.
Nice.
And Dominika Grabowska from Poland. Unfortunately, no longer in the competition, but
It's not a bad
we
pack
still
at
need
all.
them for the book.
Exactly right.
And Jamie, let's
Here
go.
we go. Moment of truth. Let's finish on a bang, everyone. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm really having a struggle to get this open. Okay. I do have Swiss legend Ramona Bachmann. Unfortunately, not in the competition. We've got Marie Deutreyer from Belgium.
Nice.
Okay. France and Chelsea, Sandy Baltimore.
Okay, yeah.
We definitely need
Nice.
her. Iceland, Gordon Anadottir. Unfortunately, also still not in the competition. Sorry, Iceland. Denmark's Pernilla Harder.
Oh,
Captain
that's
card.
a good card.
And then Wales, Lily Woodham.
a couple of Wales players
Few
today.
Wales players today.
Good pack, that. Got some big names there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kit's
that's
impressed
good.
with the pack.
Come on.
That's what we need.
It's better than mine.
Yeah, to be fair. I think it got progressively better there.
Yeah, good job, team.
As a reminder, it's coming up on the bottom of your screen now. We've got our very own online swapping platform, gotswaps.club. Remember to log in with your email address in order to open the ability to chat and swap. So when you get on the page, gotswaps.club, you enter in everything you need. There's also a page with a little person on it. Click on that, enter your email, and that is the best way to go forward with speaking to people, getting those swaps done, and leaving with a full sticker book. I don't know where my sticker book is today. It's moved.
We've lost the bloody
here
sticker
it
book. There it is.
Going home with a full sticker book, my prized possession. When it's out of my sight, I'm not very happy. Here we go. It's back. It's back. Okay, well, we've got Group A tonight. These four teams in action. We've got Switzerland versus Finland. We've got Norway versus Iceland. Sorry. All these flags are so similar.
I
was
know,
like,
they've
need
got
to
a colour
say these in
palette.
the right order.
The Group
Yeah,
A
definitely
colour
the
palette,
colour
isn't
palette
it?
of Group A. Yeah. It's exciting with Switzerland having the chance to go through. What do we think is going to happen?
I'm so excited. So obviously Norway, Iceland is a dead rubber. Norway have booked their spot in the quarterfinals. Iceland, I'm so sorry, goodbye. But this game, Switzerland, Finland is going to be so exciting. Obviously Switzerland pinched that 2-0 victory over Iceland. That extra goal means that they just need a draw tonight in order to progress to the quarterfinals, and how exciting that would be. I think they've got it in their bag. I think they improved on everything that they needed to improve on against Norway going into that Iceland game. They're coming up against a very strong and physical Finnish side. But I think Switzerland have got the home crowd. We're very excited. We're going to head down to the fan zone and hang out with the Swiss fans. But I think that they've showed through Geraldine Reutler, Smilla Volotto, Leah Volti, these players have been amazing. So I'm fully Switzerland today, and I really hope they can get the job done.
What about you, Kit?
I think Jamie's right to reference the danger of Finland. I think we're all naturally thinking it's the chips with Switzerland because they've got the home advantage. They only need a draw. But Finland have performed really well at this tournament, beating Iceland in that very first game, then giving Norway real problems a few days ago. So it's going to be a really tough one to call. I do think I would lean to the Switzerland kind of with that wave of home support getting it done, but certainly wouldn't be surprised if Finland poops to party.
Yeah, and what would it mean for Switzerland? We spoke to some of those fans, like some of them were beside themselves at the thought of even having a home Euros.
It would mean everything to these Swiss fans. It was so beautiful getting to chat to them before the opening day. And we spoke to a nice fan who was basically shaking. She was saying, I've waited a whole year for this. I couldn't believe it when the bid got confirmed. So for Swiss fans, again, we've spoken about it, but a country where football's not their number one sport, you know, they really fought hard. They got a lot of funding cut, and then they had to kind of come back in at the government and say, we want to host this Euros and we want to do it well. So for Swiss football fans, for the team, for the squad, for the players, it would mean the world. And I really hope it makes every tournament better when the major host does well. So all hope in Switzerland's hands.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned there the results of the poll. That it's still open. Do keep voting. But 50% of you think England, is it going to go? Yeah, going to go all the way to the final. 50%. Wow. So do let us know. But I want to hear from you guys. We've now watched every team play 2 games. Some things have already been determined in terms of who's qualified, who's not. There's still quite a lot on the line. Who's impressed you most? Who do you think is going to go all the way? Or far in the competition, I should say.
It's the boring answer, but it's boring for a reason. But Spain have scored 11 goals. Look, at least as good as 2 years ago, maybe not slightly better, with a bit more dynamism in attack. Players like Pina coming through. So, yeah, I'm going to say Spain is still the team to beat for me. We know England can beat them, and other teams can as well. But I think whoever wins the tournament will have to go through Spain.
Yeah. It's very, very silly not to say Spain. I think the draw's been kind to them as well. I think that they've got a very nice draw. They'll face either Finland or Switzerland as well in the quarterfinals, which is probably preferable as opposed to Group C and D, who England, Germany, Sweden, France, and Netherlands will be fighting it out. So they've got a preferable draw. I don't think they need a preferable draw. They just need to play the way that they can play. I think Norway as well, as much as they've been really underperforming in every game they've played, they've got a very kind draw. So I think those 2 teams from that half of the draw will really enter it strong. And I think Germany and Sweden should be watched as well, whoever comes out on top there. Sweden are the only team at Euro 2025 to not concede a goal yet. They've been winning by fine margins, but defensively they've looked very, very strong. So we'll see.
That Germany-Sweden game, on paper, doesn't matter that much in the sense of it. They're both through. However, it obviously determines those positions, and it could determine England's opposition as well. Well, it does determine England's opposition. Yeah, what can we expect from that? And who's impressed you most out of Germany, Sweden? I know we'll come on to talk about it a bit on the day as well.
I think that they've both got different things about them. From an English perspective, I would be hoping that Sweden top that group so we can play Sweden. I just think they play a lot more like the Dutch do. They hold their space. They kind of relax their press and want to play football, whereas Germany play like France. They're very physical and very quick. They've got Leah, they've got Jule Brand. So it's going to be a bit of a matchup for England where they might have to face some old ghosts if they come up against Germany. But at the same time, Sweden have a great way of breaking teams down. And I think the Swedish coach is a lot more capable than the Dutch coach in saying, okay, we need to play against England in this kind of way. So I think either team in either group will be just hoping to qualify because they're not going to have an easy match no matter what. But for England, I think they'll be hoping it's Sweden.
Yeah, and Sweden, of course, have WSL players that a lot of the England team will be more familiar with. And I mean, either of those fixtures is going to be juicy, right? England versus Germany or Sweden. Which one are you hoping for, Kit?
From an English perspective, I think they would prefer slightly to play Sweden, but both have caused England problems in the last year. Germany, in that friendly at Wembley, kind of ran England ragged a little bit like France did on the counter-attack. And then Sweden are a very physical team that caused England a few problems from set pieces in Gothenburg in the qualifier last July. So neither scenario is particularly appetizing, I'd say. But yeah, I think if you had to pick, I'd go with Sweden.
Nice. Well, it's juicy going into the final round of fixtures. Looking forward to that England-Wales fixture in a few days. Looking forward to that Germany-Sweden fixture, tonight's fixture. There's so much to look forward to, really, there is. Lots of fun to come still. And most importantly, England is still in it. So that just keeps everything so much more exciting. And it means that, we can keep bringing you guys a lot of Lionesses action. We'll be back with them tomorrow for some media activity. So, so much to come. Well, that just about rounds off a wonderful show. I say wonderful because we didn't know how this morning was going to go when we were sat here this time yesterday. And Oh, it's been amazing. Last night's game, more of that, please, England. And yeah, the fans were brilliant as well, actually. Before we finish, I have to give them a shout out. We popped to Lionesses HQ. If anyone is in Switzerland, in Zurich, you must go and check that out. It's amazing. We did these sort of like photo booth pictures, like amazing like programs, and we got this poster with all the Lionesses on it.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. Honestly, get yourself down there. The Free Lionesses have done such a brilliant job with all of it. So yeah, do go. We spoke to Mayor Letitia's brother there, didn't we? Yes. Oh, Theo Letitia, shout out to him. He was lovely, and he was just having a great time. He said, we're so proud of Mayor, whether she gets minutes or not. We are so incredibly proud of her. So that was really nice to speak to him and the rest of her family and everyone else we saw there, all the fans. Thank you for getting involved when you saw us. Well, thank you, Kit, for joining.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, would love to have you back now that...
Famous last words.
And yeah, thank you, Jamie, as ever.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Remember to do the quiz. It keeps going all day. You want to be top of that leaderboard. There's loads of prizes to be won. And do get involved in our swap shop on gotswaps.club. We will see you back here for Pitch Perfect Live, same time tomorrow morning, where we'll be reviewing Group A and previewing Group B, as well as any other Lionesses content we can bring you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you then.